What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Ray RTA. So this one's going to kick off our series on coil-master tanks with a big shout out and thank you going to coil-master for sending these my way for the purpose of making this video. But with that, we've got the Ray tank in front of us today. It's a nice little kind of a smaller form factor tank, but you know what? I really like the styling on this one. So taking a quick look online, this device is available in one color, and that is black, as I have here. I've only seen the black version online. I'm not sure if they're going to plan on releasing other colors or whatnot, but in any case, it's going to run you $26 if you want to purchase one right now. I've only seen it on coil-master's website and I think like one other website, but I will provide you guys with links right down there in the description below if you want to pick one up for yourself. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, as you can see here, we've got the Ray RTA in its original box, so let's quickly take a look around the packaging, and then we'll talk about what's inside. So, very plain and simple front of the box here. Just a picture of the device with a little bit of that spot gloss on there, as you can see. On this side we have Ray. On this side we have Ray. Top and bottom we have coil-master, and on the back we have some pretty basic information, some features, some specs, contents, and some company information, and the scratch-off authentication with the UPC, of course. And there's actually something blacked out there. I'm really not sure. Hopefully, I wonder if you guys can see that. Yeah, I don't know. Can you guys see that? There's something blacked out on the back, but it's really hard to read. I'm sure they did that on purpose, but I really have no idea what it says under there, so that's kind of curious. All right, taking a look inside the box, we have the little, all right, well, it is a fold-out, basically a quick start guide, if anything. It's not really instructions whatsoever. It's just basically the same thing that's on the back of the box and a parts description there. That's about it. So, not too important. So I guess I can forgive them. We have something about, okay, yeah, I guess there's like a contest or something like that. It just says how to win. Oh yeah, there we go. The coil-master Lotto. Okay, so you can enter a giveaway if you want, if you get one of these things. You have some cotton. You have obviously the RTA itself, and an extra piece of glass in case you break it. And parts, yeah, a little bit of everything here. We have a tool, we have the Allen key, of course. We have some really nice looking Clapton coils. Two of them to be precise. We have a full set of screws, it looks like, and a full set of O-rings as well. So your typical parts package in 2017, so nothing too special there. And yeah, the bottom is glued to the bottom of the box there, so that's all you get. Alright guys, let's go over the specs. It's 24 millimeters in diameter, made of 304 stainless steel, 2 mil juice capacity with a velocity style deck, trapezoidal airflow design, funnel shape design, Delrin drip tip, air releasing top fill design, dual adjustable airflow control, peak insulated with a gold plated 510 pin. Alright guys, let's go over the Ray from top to bottom as we normally do, starting off with this drip tip here, and it is an 810 drip tip. There's nothing super duper special about it except for the fact that it is a funnel design, so the bore is actually smaller on the bottom than it is on the top, as you can see there. Now, personally, I think they were just kind of overcompensating for the fact that they couldn't widen up that chimney whatsoever, so they slapped a bigger wide bore tip on there and made it narrower at the base, but they could have easily gotten away with doing it with a 510 tip. So just to show you guys that it is in fact 810, we've got our standard 810 tester tip here, and we pop it into place like that, no problem. And there you go. So it is kind of loose on there. It doesn't really grip onto it as tight as I would want it to, but it does work and fit, as you can see. So there's that. Let's go over the top cap here. So you have the single O-ring on the inside of this little section there that holds onto your 810 tip, and there's some rings along the top edge here of the top cap. They actually don't really serve any sort of purpose or anything like that, but I feel like it's for decorative purposes. Then you have the coil-master engraving right there at the top of the top cap, and this one unscrews just like this. Never really had a big issue with the threads whatsoever. They can get a little bit squeaky, but it's not too bad. And then you can see the big juice inlets there and there. Of course, this is so that air can escape the other side as you're filling one side. No complaints about filling this thing whatsoever. It takes about 2 seconds because of the 2 mil capacity. And then there's a O-ring right in the center there. That's to prevent any leakage into the actual chimney section. So there you go. So this chamber section is actually one piece with the upper section here. And I feel like that's not necessary to have it detachable just because it's easy enough to clean as it stands, and I feel like that would just overcomplicate things. So one thing to note about the little Ray logo here is being a graphic designer, you kind of recognize fonts, and that is a very familiar font. If anyone else knows what that font is, leave it in the comments section below, but that's just kind of interesting because that is such a common font, and I think it's funny that they used it. But in any case here, it's got the coil-master logo on the other side, which is really nice looking, very classy kind of logo there. And the glass feels nice and sturdy, no complaints in that department whatsoever. Doesn't feel like it's going to break in 2 seconds or anything. And then finally we have the build deck itself. It's pretty much your standard velocity style build deck. There's really nothing too special going on with this one here. The post blocks are fairly solid. The post holes are fairly plentiful, so you could fit some exotic wire in there if you wanted to. As you can see there, you can see the air holes, which are plentiful as well. Really no complaints about them. The one thing I do complain about is these little wicking ports at the bottom here. So you kind of just rest your cotton down there and just kind of glue it to the bottom there with a little bit of juice before you put your chamber section over the top of it. But sometimes it can get caught in these little grooves because the threads, as you can see here, are just right around the base. So it can get a little bit complicated and stuck sometimes, so it tends to be a little bit of a pain. But there you go. But otherwise, pretty standard build deck with Allen headed screws there on the side. And on the bottom here, you can see first of all, the airflow section. You can open it all the way and close it all the way there. Plenty of room for airflow. Not sure what a trapezoidal airflow design is as described in the specs. However, it's fairly smooth and I don't really have any complaints about it. So as you can see on the bottom here, we have the Ray and coil-master logos, and then designed and manufactured by coil-master. And it is gold plated, as you can see, with a gold plated 510 connection as well. It is sticking out ever so slightly, so I feel like it would be hybrid safe, but I don't feel like people would be rocking this on a mech mod anytime soon. So that's about all I have for this little close-up section here. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of the video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. Starting off today with the pros, and my first pro is that it looks good on smaller devices. Now, currently it's sitting on top of this Ravage 230 here, and it does look a little bit weird because it's got that short and stout kind of thing going on, and I find that it works best on a single 18650 device as long as it has a 24mm base for the 510 connection, something like the Vape Presso Swag Kit or a Mini Alien or something like that. It really looks good on there. And if you just want to throw a flavor build in this thing and just enjoy some really good flavor with some coils that you built yourself, this is definitely going to be the RTA for you. My second pro today is the airflow is pretty decent on this thing. I must say, I was kind of surprised by the fact that the airflow is pretty darn smooth. There's really not too much turbulence going on with this one here, and it's a lot of airflow. I'm kind of surprised by how much vapor production I can get out of this thing, especially with the current setup. I really don't have anything super special in there right now. It's just some fuse Claptons. Coming in at 0.32 ohms, I'm rocking it at 58 watts, and I get pretty decent vapor production. So as far as I'm concerned, the airflow is definitely good. You don't get too much whistle or anything like that. My third pro for this one is it's really nice looking. I personally like the styling of this one. There's a few little ridges on the top cap here, which kind of just make it look a little bit different, and then the engravings on the sides are just nice and very simplistic, minimalistic, and just very classy looking. I feel like you could put this on pretty much any mod out there, and it's going to look good. And my fourth and final pro for this device is the flavor is really good. Now, I'm kind of surprised again by this one here. I don't have anything super fancy built in it, like I said, but I'm getting fantastic flavor, and that's definitely what I'm looking for out of a good RTA. This, I would say, is more along the lines of a flavor RTA than a cloud RTA, but you get one heck of a good puff off of it as well. So moving on to some cons, my first con is that this one is really difficult to wick. Now that's coming from me, a fairly seasoned veteran when it comes to RTA wicking, and this one just seems to be a royal pain in the ass. Now, with this one here, you don't have holes in the deck itself. You actually just have to kind of place your cotton and hope that it stays in place when you go to screw the whole thing together. And a lot of times, a little tiny pinch of cotton will get stuck in the threads and just cause it to be really crunchy and difficult to line up and just doesn't fall into place like you hope it would. So with that, this one you're going to have to take extra precaution when wicking, and sometimes it's going to be a big pain in the ass. So I don't know, for me personally, I feel like that's the biggest detracting factor of this one. So my second con for this one is the low juice capacity. This one only holds 2 mils of juice, and personally, I go through 2 mils in about half an hour, so that means it's not going to pass the long drive test whatsoever. I feel like the baseline standard for a tank of liquid should at least last you 45 minutes, but with that, yeah, you're going to have to fill this one all the time, probably about 5-6 times a day if you're consistently using this same device. And my third and final con for this device is no color options. Why didn't coil-master at the very least come out with a stainless steel version and a black version? Instead, we're stuck with the black one here, and that's about it. So as far as that goes, we're spoiled with color choices nowadays. We can get tanks in any number of different colors of the rainbow, and with this one here, you're just stuck with one plain old black one. So at the end of the day, is this device worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one in for a review? And I'm going to say no to this one, mostly because it's so difficult to wick and the low juice capacity. For me, I just feel like the technology of this one here is just stuck about a year ago or so, because just nothing really screams buy me with this one here. It's a velocity style deck. It's got decent airflow and good flavor, but at the end of the day, I really wish it just had a little bit more ease of use and a much higher juice capacity. So as far as I'm going to say, it's going to be a no from me, but if you guys want to try one of these out for yourself, I'll just leave links right down there in the description below. So that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to click that notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Also, leave me some comments in the box below. I'd love to hear your thoughts all about the Ray RTA or anything else you guys want to discuss down there. Make sure you check out the description of this video. That's where you're going to find the advocacy and my social media links. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on. I feel Philadelphia.